Alright, welcome to another video on how to become a business consulting freelancer. So in this section 4, I'm just going to make a quick recap of what I have learned so far on how to conduct a proper research and gather quality data, a use case based on the Zero to Mastery structure, Paul Mendes, as the practical use case when it comes to build our own POC e-commerce, okay, using some of the web technology that we're going to describe that I'm going to describe later. But right now, understand that especially when you're conducting a business, when you're conducting a research, recognize that data is something very important and powerful because it can influence others. It has the ability to inform, persuade, reinforce your point of view, but also can be misleading. So by looking and identifying, especially when you're conducting a research for a consulting project, it's important to, given this context, identify as the most to the least valuable source of data, where now the company data is the most valuable because once you have signed an NDA agreement, which is something that most company actually make you sign, okay? Once you do that, you can see what they have done in the past, see how they have been performing, and that is what you're going to use to see how you can provide your suggestions. Number one. When it comes to secondary party data or from trust sources where they are not anonymous, they have a great record of research report, peer review, you may have or not, depending on the case, to pay for that. If you have access to the first party data, the data from the company, you can rely on these trust sources. And the least valuable is the aggregate sources because you cannot verify is every single author from that data, and usually is behind a paywall as well. Now, then I look at how to conduct a research from a broad perspective, which is play devil advocate with yourself, see things from different perspectives because things are not always black and white, gather relevant data and keep track every source you obtain and takes notes, and then verify the quality of the data that you're getting from. Especially if you're looking for a website, see any grammar errors, or if you see that the website design is something fishy or is a little off, look for all of those signs, all of those traits. And then I look at the guidelines that Paul Mendes, the Zero to Mastering structure, use especially to conduct a research from the marketing perspective or from these marketing Googles. And first, it was based on the tourist website. Okay, so first it looked at a particular website. Let's say he's conducting a research for a particular tourist company. Okay, so first he looked at the website, see what are all of their products and service, understand what they offer, and then he go to the specific by looking at the category, their pricing, how much they charge, the company's review, because all of this is what I'm going to use to see how can I provide my suggestions. And if you can have access to their first party data, which is great, you can see, well, how they have been performing, what they have done in the past, and see how you can provide your suggestion based on that. So now that you have made a website or a research on their website, their brands, their pricings, categories, you can now jump to a competitor analysis, and this is to figuring out who the other players in that industry are, especially the tourist uh, industry, to see what they're doing, what you can learn from them, and use or make a keyword research based on that. Because now you can use all of this keyword in a keyword research planner tool, such as from Google or among others, to get a clear idea of what's going on in that industry. And then on top of that, you now look at the worst news to get up-to-date data uh, and see how everything that you have researched, what is most likely to work today. And that includes looking also at the regulations, the industry regulations, and how this industry is adapting to regulations and where this industry is going. This is only for the tourist industry, right? Again, the marketing base, most of the marketing activities it involves is conduct a market research. That's one of the reasons why when I look at that and this particular guidelines that Paul Mendes used is because it is on based on the marketing Googles, which after all they do is a market research, develop and implementing marketing strategies, creating ads campaigns, and then managing social accounts, social media accounts, Yeah, but this is especially using the marketing Googles. Okay. Now, when I conduct a research here, but for the software engineer, okay, particularly on the e-commerce sphere, okay, because after all, I just want to make a practical. I just want to I just want to practice based on creating a POC, a proof of concept e-commerce with Vue, Nux, Trapi, Docker, GraphQL, Stripe, and deploy all of that on one of the AWS EC2 instance, right? Great, cool. Because with that, now I can see is how can I apply that research, okay, especially for this e-commerce, because after all what I'm doing here is just a market research on the e-commerce first to understand what an e-commerce is, which depends on who you ask. For example, Amazon mentioned that is the trade of good and service over the internet, is your bustling city center of your brick and mortar shops convert into zeros and one on the superhighway internet, on the internet superhighway. On the internet superhighway. And Shopify mentioned that while e-business refers to all aspects of operating an online business, and the specific business activity are the marketing, where is conducting a market research, developing and implementing marketing strategies, creating ads campaign, and managing social media account, sales to identify potential sale leads, clients, or prospect, make a sales calls or presentations, negotiate contract, and close deals. Another activity is the accounting, where it's recording financial transactions, creating financial reports, check the account receivable and account payables, and also tax returns. Human research is responsible for recruiting and hiring employees, administering payroll and benefits, provide training to employees, as well as manage employee relationship issues or handling that. Another activity is the operation management, where now is developing and implementing production process, handling supply chains, check quality controls, and improve operational efficiency. The IT, it creates or it managing and creating it creates manage computer networks, developing and implementing software system, provide technical support, and ensure data security. Customer relationship or customer service, they address customer inquiries, handle customer complaints and refund, provide technical support for a user level perspective, and check for customer satisfaction and ensure customer satisfaction, by the way. And the last is R&D, research and development. So all of this business activity that I mentioned that a company made, okay, most of the time a company has, okay, are crucial to understand, or is crucial to understand, especially when Shopify mentioned that yes, whether e-business refers to all aspect of operating an online business, e-commerce specifically refers to the transaction of good and service. So with these two concepts, then I look at the several type of e-commerce, or aka the way of how these transactions happen, as the actors involved, whether it's the government, the business, and the consumers. So a quick recap here is you have business to consumer, which is the most widely business model used, such as online retailers like Amazon, Costco, like Amazon, Walmart, Target in the US, digital marketplace like Etsy, eBay, subscription service such as Netflix, Spotify, online travel and booking like Booking.com, Airbnb, and Expedia, and ordering food and delivering service like Grubhub, specifically again in the US, DoorDash or Uber Eats. For business to business, where things started to get interesting here, you have is digital marketplace like Amazon e-business, Alibaba, eBay business, EDI, the electronic data interchange, paperwork that were traditionally made on paper, now like invoice or purchase order, now it is done electronically, so company can exchange that in a secure way through this EDI system. IBM provide that. Supply portals where now very large business companies needs to have needs to and set up a online portal to streamline their supply chain and procuremental process, which involve in the purchase and sales of large amount of goods and service, usually to get a good bid. And here you might find is Arriva SAP network or the Walmart supply center. Wholesale e-commerce where now manufacturers and distributors sell to business such as Uline or Dringer, right? So they sell, for example, industry related items. Uh, yeah, industry related items like hammers. Um, it's fun because Dringer here. Exactly. Like safety and security, lighting and electrical, tool and test instruments, cleaning and janitorial, HVAC, pipe hose tube fitting, plumbing and pumps, metalworking and fabrication, motors and power transmission, pneumatics and hydraulics, material handling, packaging and shipping, fastener hardware and raw materials, building and ground maintenance, tapes, adhesive and lubricants, fleet and vehicle maintenance. Interesting. Auto body repair, brake tires, fleet and vehicle maintenance, garage equipment, towing and trailer equipment, vehicle accessory cleaning, vehicle cleaning supplies, vehicle diagnostic and inspection, vehicle electric and battery power maintenance, vehicle engine, radiator and exhaust maintenance, vehicle heating and cooling, vehicle lighting, vehicle lubricants, vehicle specialty tools. Interesting. Vehicle windshield maintenance. Vehicle windshield maintenance. Washer fluid, windshield wiper plates and part. Okay. But again, it's all of this industry related items. Safety and security, anti-slip tapes, anti-slip tapes, face protection, fall protection, portable coolers. But again, all of this is industry related items. Safety and security, lighting, anti-split tapes, firefighting clothing, face protection, eye wash equipment and safety shower, ergonomics, eye protection, confined space, equipment, security, key control identification, lock, security equipment replacement, parts. Security seal, self-defense, two-way radios and police scanner, video server, video surveillance, mm, mobile video surveillance system housing, mountain brake, vehicle interior, video surveillance accessories, video surveillance cameras, video surveillance power over internet. Internet, interesting. Video surveillance enclosures, video surveillance monitor, video surveillance network IP system. Mm, holy crap. LSTS CCTV kit, 8 channels, 1 terabyte of hard drive. Mm, interesting, very interesting. But again, all of this are industry related items, safety and security. Okay, safety and security such as anti-slip tapes, fire protection, ergonomics, security management and law enforcement, video surveillance, ballistic head protection system, ballistic helmet, ballistic shield accessory, ballistic and riot shields, batons, binoculars, body armor, body camera accessories, bomb suits, counterfeit and mail screening, duty belts and harness, evidence bag and collection kit, evidence marker, evidence storage locker, fingerprint station accessories, fingerprint station, gun holder, gas mask canister, gas mask, going all in cleaning solvent, night vision device, sheriff, riot gear, tactical assault pack, thermal imaging cameras, thermal imaging. This must be very expensive. No, it's not that expensive. Tactical black nylon. Mm, interesting. 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 Uline. Okay, but exactly. So that's one of the example of business to business, wholesale e-commerce. Okay, where now manufacturing distributors sell directly to business, such as Granger or Uline, whether it's selling industry items like safety and security, electrical parts, and so on and so forth. And the business to business payment solutions such as Stripe and Stripe. Give me a second here. Beautiful, beautiful. And then I look at now the relationship between the customers and the business, whether it's freelance work, which is exactly where I am right now. I am offering is my service to business in one of the specific business activity in the field of the IT or the business specific activity, the IT. Okay, we're now going to develop and implement a software system for them. Sorry, sorry. Freelance works, whether it is copywriting, web design, web development, graphic design, in platforms like Upwork, Fiverr, or freelance online server such as SurveyMonkey, where now consumers can participate on paid online server for market research purpose. User generated content, where now this is when users or most of the time consumers sell their digital content to business. You have Shutterstock, iStock, or Audio Jungle, but also can be to business directly, another other kind of business directly, part of the influencer field or industry, right? Crowdfunding like Indiegogo and Kickstarter, where now consumers can raise funds for their own ideas and projects, and reverse auctions, where now consumers can submit a price quota on products that business offer in a reverse auction, like Priceline or like Priceline or Name Your Price. Okay. And when it comes to government to business, you have its public procurement portals, which is government agency that provides portals to government so they can bid on government contracts like the FBO, the Federal Business Opportunity on the US, or the UK Contract Finder Service, tax filing and payment systems like the Electronic Federal Tax Payment System on the US, or the HM Custom and Revenue in the UK. The whole idea is that government agency provide tax filing and payment systems to business. Licensing and permit applications, where now business apply or can apply to licensing and permit like food service or building permit. International trade and custom clearance, government agency provides service to facilitate cross-border trade, and or example of that is the electronic custom clearance or the export declaration. So for example, UPS is a great example of this kind of service. UPS, Hapag Lloyd, UPS, Hapag Lloyd. This is our kind of business. This is this is the relationship of government to business, so they can provide service to this business, so they can facilitate cross-border trade, right? So they can facilitate cross-border trade. Mm-hmm. This is an example of that, okay? And so governments can provide online platforms to business so they can incorporate or register, like the SBA on the US, the Small Business Administration, or the UK Company House. And when it comes to government to consumers, so they offer is tax payment portals, where now citizens can submit or pay their tax, like the IRS in the US, Internal Revenue Service, or the HM Custom and Revenue in the UK. Vehicle license and registrations, so citizens can apply for or renew their vehicles and licensing, or the vehicle registration and licensing, like the DMV, the Department Motor Vehicle California US, or the driver and vehicle licensing agency. So for example, in Argentina, what is this? Okay, DNRPA, la Dirección Nacional de Registro de la Propiedad Automotor. Okay, DNRPA, DNRPA. Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Cool. Cool. So now, another example of the consumers or the government to consumers is passport applications and renewal, like the U.S. State Department, like the U.S. Department of State Passport Service, or the UK government official passport service. So citizens can apply to renew or to get a new one, passport. Payments, uh, yeah, online. Online bill payments, where now consumers or citizens can pay their utility bills. Governments provide payment options to do that for electricity, water, property taxes, and other government fees. And ordering birth and death certificates, such as the UK government official, the UK General Office, the UK General Register Office, or the US National Center for Health Statistics. This is something very, very interesting. Completely. This is something very, very interesting. A very, very interesting finding. That website, the National Center for Health Statistics on the US. And then here, the last example of this trade of good and service among customer and governments is through online petitions, where now consumers can submit online petitions with online donations, where now consumers or citizens can make online donations to government agency or corporations such as disaster relief, or in websites like the American Red Cross or UNICEF, which stands for United Nations International Children Emergency Fund. And this is very important to understand because, after all, is finance. After all, even though that they have a very, even though that they have a moral high ground, UNICEF, they rely on the finance, how they are administrating their own research. So okay, you have these online donations, which is something that consumers or citizens can demand to government. Online donations, online permits and licensing, such as fishing licensing or hunting such as fishing licensing and hunting permits. So citizens can apply for government websites. Government or payments of fines and fees, such as traffic tickets or parking tickets, perhaps also fines. Okay, but this is payment of fines and fees. Online petitions, where now citizens can rise or can sign for online petitions to influence in government policy. I don't think actually that make any impact, because if you want to really, this is my opinion, if you want to really change something, you need to understand the devil behind it. But again, online petitions, right? Online petitions, so consumers can sign online petitions to influence in government policies, such as change.org or Care2, and Care2 is a private equity. Very, very interesting to know. And online tax filing. Okay, so now that I know all of this way of how you can trade good and service among these different actors, the government, business, and consumers, okay, now I can look at where this happened, where does it take place. in the mobile e-commerce most of the time, enterprise e-commerce, or social media e-commerce. And the competitor analysis. So here's to actually look at, for example, Amazon, Alibaba, Shopify, IKEA, Walmart, eBay. See what they are doing, what you can learn from them, and make a keyword research based on that. So what I see is that Shopify offer stores, websites, while Amazon offer Kindle, Alexa, Fire Stick, and Amazon gift card. Alibaba is for wholesales, online shopping, AliExpress, and AliExpress online shopping. Shopify, when you use the tool WordStream, okay, uh, this keyword research on Shopify, well, it gives you, hey, stores, themes, website, POS, point of sales, okay, Shopify website design. And when you look at eBay, it gives me is the eBay gift card, similar to the Amazon gift card. eBay coins, it is funny because most people are selling or buying coins. I think that this is to get or to receive uh, metal, you know, to receive metal, whether it's silver or gold, but most of the time silver. eBay shoes and eBay books. So with that, that'll be all for this video. Take care. Bye bye.